We live in a world where social change is increasingly network-centric. The platforms like Facebook, Twitter, Google make it easy for us to find people who share our passion for social change causes. But when we combine redefining and building our relationships online with something that I call individual social responsibility, individuals taking small actions online can have an unheard of impact in making the world a better place. Let me share some examples from my personal experience. Back in 2004, when I first started writing my blog about how to use social media for social good, I never dreamed in a million years that Conan O'Brien would be talking about me on national TV. It was back in November, and I was just coming from a dinner for champions of Giving Tuesday, a national day of giving, when all of a sudden, my mobile phone started beeping with tweets from my followers telling me that Conan was talking about me on his show. The reason he was talking about me was because I had more followers than he did on LinkedIn. And he thought the secret to that was my red hat. So I gave Conan a little bit of advice. It's not about popularity. It's not about how many followers you have on LinkedIn. It's about doing good online. It's about taking small acts of kindness and generosity. It's about using your relationships and building them and building your social capital and your influence to do good in the world, to make the world a better place. It's not about the red hat. It's not about the red hat. It's not about the red hat. He ignored me. And I still have more followers than he does on LinkedIn. But but how and why is this possible? Why am I one of the more influential members of LinkedIn? To answer this, we have to go back to 2007. That's me in 2007. And I was connecting online with a group of young people from Cambodia. And they wanted to use their blogs for social change in their country. So I shared my knowledge freely with them. And they invited me to keynote the first ever Cambodia Blogger Summit in Phnom Penh. But they didn't have the money to bring me over, let alone do a whole conference. So I took to my blog, and I launched a small crowdfunding campaign. I mean, this was 2007. We didn't even call it crowdfunding. But I reached out to my network. I was passionate about why they should support it. Even $10, a $10 donation would help. And I ended up being the first person to use Twitter to raise money for a good cause. So within a week, I raised enough money to get over to Phnom Penh, Cambodia, and sponsor the conference. Me, an individual, sponsoring a whole conference. That's what happens when you combine building relationships online with small acts of generosity. I call this ISR. No, I didn't mean the IRS. I meant ISR. Individual Social Responsibility. ISR. And what that means is when anyone gives anything in any amount to make the world a better place. Your skills, your knowledge, your time, or donations. ISR. You might be familiar with the term CSR, which stands for Corporate Social Responsibility. And there are many companies here in Northern California and Silicon Valley, like LinkedIn, like Cisco, Microsoft, and Google, who have whole departments of people to help their business figure out how to make cash donations to nonprofits, how to give in-kind product donations, how to inspire their employees to volunteer their time for a social good cause. ISR is like CSR, but it's when an individual does that. So when you practice ISR, you can still make money and do good. ISR isn't about giving up everything in your life and going without. It's about taking small actions of generosity online and inspiring your network to do the same. ISR isn't something that we were necessarily taught in school, and it isn't something that we always learn from our parents at a young age. But you can practice ISR at any stage and any age of your life. And the good news is, you don't have to be a billionaire to do it, okay? You don't have to give donations with lots of zeros in them. You can make small donations and build your relationships with your network and have them amplify that and make a huge difference in the world. But there's another benefit. Practicing ISR can help you in times of great personal sadness. ISR can help you metabolize grief. And I know this from personal experience because I lost my dad not too long ago, Dr. Earl Kanter, after a long and courageous battle with Parkinson's disease. Let me take a moment and tell you about my dad. He was an obstetrician and delivered over 10,000 babies in his life. And he chose being an OB doctor because he wanted an area of medicine that brought joy to people. And what's more joyful than bringing a child into this world? My dad was also a geek. He loved computers, calculators, cameras, and he even mastered the selfie in 1964. And I have a legacy of selfie photos with my dad. But the thing that my dad loved more than anything else was the ocean. He was a lifeguard, a champion swimmer, and he brought surfing to the South Jersey shore in the 1960s with his Greg Knoll board, for those of you who surf. Okay, we have some surfers, woohoo! And so when I thought about this, how can I use ISR and the relationships that I have built online to honor his memory? So I decided to launch an online fundraiser and memorial paddle out. And for those to benefit the Surfrider Foundation and their ocean conservation program. So for those of you who aren't surfers in the audience, a paddle out happens, a memorial paddle out happens when a surfer passes away. Their buddies go out, ride into the ocean, they form a circle, they hold hands, they say a prayer, they sing, they may toss flowers into the ocean, all in the memory of the surfer who died. So I wanted to replicate this online, and so I started a hashtag called OceanLoveEarl. And I encouraged my network to encourage their networks to tweet or to share that hashtag with the story of why they love the ocean, or to talk about ocean conservation, or to make a donation in memory of my dad to Surfrider Foundation to protect the ocean. And thousands of people joined me in doing that. So not only was I able to raise a lot of money, $5,000, and raise a lot of awareness about the need for ocean conservation, my part in making a difference, it also helped me metabolize grief. ISR. If there's anything that I'd like to have you leave this auditorium with, is the inspiration to start your own ISR program. But let me give you a few ways to do that. It's really quite simple. The first is to find your passion, find your spark. What is it that you care about, you, yourself, that you know will make the world a better place? And start talking about it. Don't keep it to yourself. Here's a great example. Isadora from Brazil. She's 13, 14 years old. She cared about bullying in her school. She wanted it to stop. So she started a diary on Facebook. And now over 500,000 teens from Brazil and all over the world are joining in conversations about the importance of stopping school bullying. So find your spark and share it. Second, for those we have many college students here, correct? Yay? Whoa, okay. Oh, okay. So there is this giving circle of chapters across different campuses, and there might be one here at Berkeley called Giving 2.0. It's for college students to learn how to practice individual social responsibility and involve their networks. What better way to learn how to do this than with your peers joining up? So explore the Giving 2.0 chapter network here, or start one. Or connect with your peers outside of that and talk about what can you do? What are some of the small actions that you can do to make the world a better place? Or give up your birthday for a good cause. Hundreds and thousands of people are doing this for clean water on Charity Water and many others. You know, it's really simple. Just tell your friends and family that you'd like to forgo the gifts and to donate to a designated charity that is doing work that you are very passionate about and that you can speak about their work. So these are 3 different ways that you can get started. You can find your spark, join with other students and start a Giving 2.0 chapter, or give your birthday up for a good cause. And when you start to practice ISR, you will be able to redefine the way you are building relationships online, practice small acts of generosity, and really make the world a better place. No.